about like all the technical, I don't know any technical talk. I go off of nothing but feel. If it feels right, that's what's moving everybody. The numbers of hertz and all that kind of stuff or whatever, that stuff means nothing to me because I'm just going off of how it feels. So what I do is I dial up the same setting every single time. It's like the hall one, you know, keep the room pretty much there, keep the timing at 2.40, and that just gives me a nice, not too long, not too short, but it spreads the vocal out within the headphones that the artists are singing, you know, that they're hearing themselves in, and also just throughout the mix, you know, in the monitors. That's the first plugin I use. The second plugin I use is this medium, the delay. I always do the same thing, and I actually discovered this when we did Umbrella. It was kind of by default. I was like, man, I want this thing to like ping pong back and forth, so I'll always do the same thing. I'll put up this medium delay. I'll put, you know, an eighth on, what is this, a quarter? Put a quarter on one side and an eighth on this side, and it's always going like this. And what that does is just give you a nice spread in your headphones and also throughout the mix. The third plugin that I always use is the REQ, the Renaissance EQ. I do the same setting all the time. Everything comes up pretty flat, and depending on what voice I'm using, it's the same thing. I'll always roll up a little bit of the mids here. I always say the blue. I roll up the blue a little bit. Sorry to be so basic, but I keep everything simple. Lift this up a little bit. Bring this down a little bit, the purple, so that it's not too pingy or whatever. Then I raise up a little bit of the red, and this gives me the nice crispy high end that I want to hear throughout my mix and and in my headphones. That's my third EQ, and the fourth EQ that I use is always the R compressor. What I do in this is the same thing all the time. I tap on this, I make it smooth, I bring the attack all the way over, I bring my ratio down pretty much to about the same because I don't want it pulling too hard, and then I bring the threshold down to about here, the same way every single time. So what I did on this particular